Hello, everybody. Sorry. Sorry, didn't mean to just greet you immediately with coughing right in your ear. How are you doing? Ryan, nice to see you. Aiden, how are you been? It's good to see you. Shavil, Shade, Mantis, hello, everybody. Hope you're doing good. Sorry about Mortcam. We had some technical difficulties this morning. I don't know why. Okay, so here's the deal. As always, once I start this video, I can't stop it. So we gotta commit. Also, sorry I was a little bit late. They gave me an arrival time of 9 to noon, but I was like, oh, well, every other year they arrive like right at 9. It'll be fine. And this was the only time they could come until January. So I was like, okay, it'll be okay. And then of course, he told me that he was going to be exactly when I was going to do the task. So, cool. Thank you for your patience. Yeah. So I do this every time for the people who watch this on YouTube later and don't know what this is. Because it's like one of my most watched videos always on YouTube. A TAS is a theory assisted speedrun, or a tool assistant speedrun, I'm sorry. A Theory TAS is a theoretical segmented run of The Last Guardian, where we see how fast we can go if everything went perfect. That means there's going to be cuts, a lot of them. We're going to try to be fair as much as possible. We're going to cut when the boy is in the same spot, even if that means the camera kind of is not the same. So we're going to try to be faithful in that sense. And yeah, we're just going to see how fast we can go. Obviously, you can see last year's PB before credits is 2:43:21, which is 16 minutes, I think, faster than the world record. So we'll see what we accomplish this year, huh? Also, before I forget, the audio, I think, at the first 5 minutes maybe of this is kind of funky. I don't know why. I think it got like partially corrupted when I processed it this time. But if you ever encounter a section where there is no sound, it's probably because I was streaming and talking and I didn't want to talk over myself. Okay, let's start. I have yammed on enough. Dragon Sage, nice to see you. Twiz, hello. Yes, I do already know. I'm such a cheater. I was so terrified because I thought this morning that I had uploaded the wrong TAS video and I didn't want to get to the end of this one and just have it be like, oops, we watched last year's TAS. So let me know how the audio balance is. It's always, I can't hear it, so it's always kind of hard to know. Thanks for the lizard treat, Dragon Sage. Appreciate you. I've been meaning to post a compilation of all the lizard treats that haven't happened on stream lately. It's quiet? Okay. Yoink! Let's try that. So yeah, I mean, this is just a super ideal beginning, right? We didn't get stuck on anything jumping on Trico. This one's for last stream. Thanks, Dragon Sage. So yeah, I can turn it up more. I can take it back down. We'll see. I also like that the videos are in like varying qualities because they were taken over like multiple years, right? So all of this, where that barrel ends up, being so close to Trico, we could fix that. In fact, I wanna open something to take note of what I want to change. So let me see. Cool. Notes taken. So normally we wouldn't feed Trico like this, right? We would wait for him to eat one and then give him the next one. But I was doing something for GDQ. I don't remember already. And as you'll see, it'll cut here. And Trico actually ate both barrels. I don't know how he did that or why it counted. But it's literally the only time I've ever seen it. So we skip an entire cycle of Trico having to eat that barrel. Instant grab on the collar. Of course, we want to get to the spear before Trico even falls down. I know, it's crazy that could even happen, right? Like, I don't know if they were just perfectly overlapped in that moment. Because you would think that if they were slightly mismatched, the AI wouldn't count. Like, the game wouldn't count that they both had been eaten. Because one of them wouldn't have been lined up. So I have no concept of why that was okay. But I don't remember if it was Sancho on commentary at the time. We both kind of lost our minds. And of course, as I keep doing the tasks every year, there gets to be less and less stuff, presumably, that I can refine, because it's getting better all the time. But I'm pretty confident that the stuff this year is notable. We'll put it that way. I'm gonna turn it up just a smidge more. Whoops, I forgot to split. I forgot I was running splits. Now, naturally for a task, we're gonna want ledge jump first try. I clipped myself into that barrel so that the boy didn't do his full stumble animation. It's faster to do it that way. But more often, he just kind of zips back and forth in front of that entrance trying to figure out how to get inside of it, so. Nice run over the pillar, no stumbles. So yeah, anytime that we're like in the red, it's typically gonna be just because I didn't split right, you know. It was a fraction of a second late or whatever. It's not actually time loss. I would not be very good at tassing if we lost time. I should just make a task where it's the opposite. Like every possible thing Trico can do to be the worst. This is so agonizing. I wish that we could checkpoint reset to do that. 6-hour task at least. I mean, it would have to start with Trico zooping into the wall of the lake, right? Just disappearing forever. I think it was Walter who found this. The ability to do this checkpoint reset. And then it pops you over by the door. It's part of any percent now. But I remember that being a fairly significant change to the task. Almost got obliterated by that piece. Yeah, no, the whole run just being Trico doing that, like, very ginger, he tries not to step on you thing. I have to remember that I'm running splits. It's so easy to just sit and watch this. So yeah, we could like drop down immediately to, you know, just get into the water as fast as possible. But Trico's not going to be in the right position, right? Because he has to take a step forward before he'll shoot, which is why we need just a moment of hesitation to let him do that. Imagine like an all barrels TAS as well. All of that would just be ridiculous. There's so much you can do with this game. I don't remember why I threw it that way, but I know there was a reason. And here's the thing I was talking about during the all barrels with Sancho, where you can cheese your way up here. As long as Trico comes down into the water, you're allowed to walk into this hole. If Trico never comes down, like if you do that jump before you throw the barrel into the water, there will just be an invisible wall. So obviously exiting at like 8:10 or something is very, very fast. Usually you want to exit at about 9:30 to 9 in a good any percent. Oh, Aiden, I didn't do the swaggy tail grab. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll re-record it, like, literally just so that I can do that. Because obviously it's the same, right? Like, it'll be exactly the same down to the second. So I might as well try to get the cool tail grab. Exactly. We need it for the swag points. Swag points, we keep track of those in the background. Can't see them on stream, but they're important. It is so hard to do this. It looks easy, but the rate of just bashing your head into a wall and then completely stopping is super high. I've only ever done it the one time, and it was this. Oh, the near death. It was kind of the same principle as, like, when you're running to Kuro in Shadow, right? And you whistle to kind of walk through the air for a second. Like, he was still in his roll animation, so it didn't know yet that he had fallen off the edge. Nice little boost. Straight up run down the pillar instead of having a little stumble. And I mean, something like this nice little section, you can achieve in an any percent. It's just, it's very smooth, but this isn't necessarily like, oh, this is perfect, you'll never be able to do it, you know? Like for Trico to be right there and be ready to jump. It happens, you know, not all the time, but frequently, if you're good at pacing. Thankfully, the first changes here... Oh, I remember this. The first changes come fairly early, so we won't be keeping pace with last year for too long. Hey, Sancho, nice to see you. No, we are still on pace with last year. First changes are coming very minor at the first cage, I believe. The big ones are going to come about halfway through. And there are multiple, which is exciting. The sad thing is, I hovered on that ledge, you know? Like, I'm never gonna get that to happen again. And I could have been, like, a little faster. I mean, I guess I'll write it down. That could be faster, too. Yeah, I'll write this down. The word is goes. I am trying to type goes. Thank you. The sound is gone. What? Impossible. This run was done in one segment. How dare you? So yeah, like I said, these tiny variations on the splits are just me not being exactly perfect with splitting. So obviously Trico doesn't turn around. He's paying attention to me. That's true. I need to make the sound effects myself. So I wonder, I think maybe I found a faster way to do this. But I need to test it. And it's kind of counterintuitive, but I think we can do that better. Drop onto your feet here. I tried for a long time to jump on this eye, like to jump on the far side, try to get it to tip, and then jump off of it, because that would be faster um than pushing it, right? But some of the eyes that are like that have a ton of gravity, like on the handle side, and they just won't budge. Very unfortunate. I've always wondered if there's a way to make Trico run up this hallway. Maybe someday we'll get lucky. And of course, when that happens, I won't be recording. At this point, whenever I'm doing Last Guardian offline, I'm always recording. Because of things like that. Because, like, the thing where Trico ate 2 barrels. Oh, this trick. Man, I think Walter does that in any percent. I can't remember. So dangerous. But yeah, after things like the double barrel at GDQ, like, I've never seen it again. And I don't know how I would ever get Trico to do it, you know? So, thank goodness we had video. Does it record automatically? I know it records, like, if you get a trophy or something, right? Records up to the last hour? I had no idea. So obviously we're gonna do like the tail skip thing that's super, like, you can do it in any percent. It's just super risky. And then we come back around, and then manipulate the start of the fight. We'll see when it happens, but the armors are kind of clustered a little bit differently. I saw that you were like an hour 50 or something in when you got to the cage. We can skip that faster. That's an easy change. You can start to skip it while the screen's still black, so. I know, we need poop manip. Like, I've seen 2 people say, not in the Discord, but I've seen them say that they've gotten poop at the area with the fallen pillar, which we're already past. I've never gotten poop there. I tried for a long time in November to try to get Trico to poop there, and he never did. So I don't know if they're just, like, misremembering, or, like, lying, or we just haven't gotten very lucky. Very scary drop there onto Trico's tail. But that just seems like such a weird spot. The earliest poop I got was before the E3 bridge. Exactly. You get it between the 2 eyes, which I've also never had. but I know that multiple people have had it. I've seen people who are playing Last Guardian casually that think that's how you're supposed to solve the puzzle. You get the poop and you throw it into the eyes, right? Here we're going backwards. This isn't the intended solution to the puzzle. Thanks, Cheville. Appreciate that. Yeah, clip yourself on some architecture here. And I meant to fix that this year. The fact that I one-handed grabbed instead of 2. We can do that a little better. And same with that. Like, you shouldn't splot like that on top. But I didn't get around to it. It's on track for next year. This is a little bit different now. I fixed this year to not bonk into that wall, which should save like half a second. And there's the beginning of that fight where we stay back with Trico. All of the armors are clustered. And so I make that one stagger before he goes out in order to keep them all completely together. One swipe, Trico's got it, fight's over. And this was Aiden's contribution a couple years ago, just swoop right up to the top. You got launched from Trico's leg up to the railing. And you can always tell it's Aiden because the boy has the bandana. And Aiden, you did like this chain climb and everything like so immaculately. This is a really long single section to keep, you know? And like that reset and everything. Just really nice. I think there's only been like 2 times that I've gotten Trico to do this. Where he's already turned around. Because he can do that. I'm pretty sure... See, but he's confused. Because he's not supposed to. But I'm pretty sure that we had that happen once at a marathon run as well. I want to say Midwest Speed Fest. Is the language nonsense? Yeah. It's not a real language. There's rules to it that we haven't figured out yet. Same with Eco. And I guess, do we know what the deal is with Shadow the Colossus? Because Dorman talks. But yeah, I mean, it's not any real language, so... Rules? A Wizzy. I still need to remember to change my gold splits back to a Wizzy. And we've got Trico doing this basically perfectly. Doesn't get stuck on anything. Knows what he's supposed to do. He's good at it. Imagine how hard that would be to keep track of, Sancho. Good old Vine Skip, the most recent version. Where we jump from Trico's head up there. Because that should be better than spending time on the roof. Right? Like on the edge of the roof. I forgot to split for Vine Skip. Because otherwise you're jumping to the roof, running, and then jumping to the other roof. As opposed to just like perfectly clipping it like this. I'm pretty sure Walter does this as well in every run. I find that it's hard to get Trico to not notice you. So I still do the long run, but it is faster. It is, Sancho. Yes. I guess part of the problem with Shadow the Colossus, right, is like, you can't hear it very well. Like, the speaking in Last Guardian is really clear. Also, JK, I meant to share with you, because you were talking on Reddit about, like, the PlayStation symbols being in this game. And I don't know if you noticed... Whoopsie. But I'm sure that I kept this because it didn't make a difference, right? Chico was still going fast. I noticed on some of the platforms, you know how it shows blue tiles to show you where to go? it looks like there's more symbols there, like the D-pad. And I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. We'll save time there next year, I guess. If it's off by a lot... Oh, this is new. I forgot that this is new. It was a faster... faster Trico getting unangry. Because basically I just kept running this until he lost interest in that other Trico, like, immediately. See, now that one I'm gonna skip, because that was quite far back. Hey, Rad, nice to see ya. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go back and skip both of these. Oh, I remember this jump! Oh, it took me forever to do that. Because Trico doesn't want to turn in that direction. He's programmed to turn in the other direction. I'm gonna skip this one too. Because these are just my any percent splits. And some of them don't, like, apply anymore because we skip things, so... Oh, Sancho! Thanks for the resub. Appreciate you. So yeah, now you can see the little bit of time we saved. This save is actually correct. Anyway, I mean, it was just a little bit, but when it comes to things like this, a little bit is kind of what we do, you know? So we are finally, truly, like, actually ahead of last year. And obviously that's going to continue. It always makes me nervous to leave Trico behind here. I don't know why, because we do it in any percent, and I've done it, like, literally hundreds of times. But the fact that there's a fight here, and you're just, like, leaving Trico... Like, hypothetically, there's a world where he doesn't fight those armors well, and you reset before he's done. Falling off of that is faster than jumping, and then stumbling. But it's also faster than just going down the stairs and not stumbling at all. I don't remember who it was that found that you can reset there instead of having to grab the lever. This is you again, Aiden. Really nice run down the hallway. But this is different too. I grinded out this fight. I feel actually really confident now that this is a really nice fight. Fights are always hard, you know? And you got that clip up onto the top of the ladder and everything, which is really nice. So here's where my fight starts, right? Trico comes out immediately and just obliterates those guys. It's great. And I trust him to finish the rest of the fight. And this is all single seg. So it was like just a really nice fight. The hanging, like, wasn't intentional, but it also didn't matter. And then, like, look at this. Trico's just ready. He's done with the fight. He's keyed in on this guy. He's basically running down the hallway as we get here. Bang. Really nice. Fight's over. Thank you. And then it's you again, Aiden, because I can't for the life of me do this command skip the way you do. At least he drew his sword. I'm kind of sad that my command skip footage isn't in here because it was like super swaggy in terms of like I kind of cheesed my way up Trico, but this is just so much better. I guess we don't split command skip there. We split it when we hit the lever. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one was taken from Aiden's world record IL. And obviously no pillar jump here, that would be nonsense. Trico's listening so well. I mean, obviously, I guess. I don't think I made any improvements here. Oh, that was so close. We can fix that jump too. I'll write that down. Okay, cool. And obviously, if this is a good fight, Trico is gonna just obliterate these guys in about a second and a half. Which I have to imagine is what happened here, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, he just slams and then it's done. That is interesting, that it's the first one that's just straight up in English. It would almost be really funny if Ueda is suggesting, like, Last Guardian and all that stuff is, like, our world. It's just so far in the past or something. And then, finally, we've caught up to where it's English, you know? Or maybe the other way around, right? This jump was so stressful, but I think I did it first try. Like not looking and just grabbing this bottom thing. By passing through the top one. I wish they spoke in King James English. Just for flavor. I don't remember which version of this is being used. Just the reset? Okay. We used to do that where we intentionally died off the side. Oh, that was scary. Just a little bit of progress here. Once you get it past a certain point, the chain will remember the progress you've made, so... And obviously that cut was just into a good fight with Trico. I don't remember how I feel about this. I was complaining at the beginning that there's progressively fewer things that you can change. Oh man, good job, Trico. But any fight, almost, I feel like, can be improved. Except for maybe the final fight, which I think was 2-phase. I actually think the final fight was, like, really solid. And I feel pretty good about the command skip fight now as well. But it's always worth running them just to see. Hey, Tiny Goliath, nice to see ya. How you doing? And again, I remember spending a long time trying to figure out if I could just, like, land on that thing and kick it down. But in the end, this way was the one that prevailed. Yeah, the reptiles are a lot better. Thank you. Hey, Tic Tac, nice to see ya. This was so much manipulation and so many deaths to get Trico to move like a second faster. Because I'm like disappearing from his view because that makes him upset and he comes toward me a little bit faster. Hey Chassis, nice to see ya. How you doing? Most times that was the little section that killed me. Trico would spin around, push me off the ledge, or I would just scrape off of him as he jumped. And I think I did Walter's vine skip, I can't remember. If not, that's on the list to implement. It's nice to have a list. I mean, we have a pretty decent chunk of things for next year. Yeah, there's a cut here, so this must be vine skip. Oh, so close. Flip through, end up on the other side. Yeah, I'm not really sure there's much we can do to make this that much faster. Like you can see I'm taking a really tight route around the railings. Suppose I don't need to carry that quite as far. Problem is, with this door and the mine door specifically, you run a fairly large risk of putting that bar back into the door if you drop it right away, so... You do kind of have to step away a little bit. And we all know the boys' animations take 6 years, so... One of my favorite parts about watching the TAS is that I have this list of things that I want to improve, right? That I'm creating like right now. It's okay, Aiden. The price is the same for me regardless, because it's being fulfilled by the people who make it, so I'm not paying shipping. Although, don't you have a postal strike in Canada right now? But yeah, one of the things I like the most is I keep this list of things I want to change, and then when I change those, I am only watching the part of the task that's like immediately surrounding that on either side. So the majority of the tasks, like, I don't remember from year to year, so it's fun to rewatch it. The government's forcing them back to work. I keep getting notifications on eBay because Husbando sells things that we can't like make labels for Canada. It just says until further notice. I wish I could get Trico to do this in one cycle. That would be like such a huge innovation in this area. I mean, I think he's just like, he has to do the trying to charge the gate thing. But if we could find a way to not have him do that, I mean, that would be huge. That would be like 45 seconds or something. Yeah, Mort hung out all day. Mort is the type of blue tongue skink that has a full blue tongue. Some of them only have a blue tip and then the rest of it's pink. If only... Man, okay. So if somebody ever gets poop here, after they've done the destroying the eye during the cutscene, I swear to God I'll put it in here. So Trico's close enough here, we don't need to wait for him. Which is the ideal way to do this, even if he comes off of the eye immediately. Oh hey, Shavil, I forgot to split Hodor. Aren't you proud of me? Even if he comes off the eye right away, it's still faster to leave him behind. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll write that down. I think it's literally impossible to do a one cycle. But, I mean, I also thought it was impossible for Trico to eat more than one barrel at once, so... I'm trying to think of where the next innovation is. Drawbridge, I think. Made some pretty substantial changes to Drawbridge. And by substantial, I mean, like, I think it saves less than 10 seconds, but at this point, that feels like a lot, you know? Such an early jump! Ooh, I don't think he was supposed to reach down that far. Like, his animation just wasn't working for a second. It was Trico panic mode. Right? Like, oh, I wish you could look up at him from below. He would have been, like, giraffe-necked. Like that one gif that I made of him. It should have been death, yeah, for sure. It was, like, such an early jump. And almost always this strategy doesn't work, of taking the eye all the way down to the bottom with the boy. But this time Trico decided not to follow, which meant he was in the right spot for once. Because usually he'll follow you, and that's the problem. Because he'll follow you down there, and then he has to like go backwards in order to get to this spot to catch you, which is why it's like not recommended that you do that. I should keep that gif on hand of Trico with the long neck. The glitch thing. This was so hard to get right, I remember. Climbing up his leg like that. And then every now and then, kind of like with cutscene skip, when you get to the, like, past drawbridge, every now and then Trico will just do this. He'll just, like, short cycle it. And you can get him to do that by throwing the jug and then jumping off and dying. Or just resetting the checkpoint, I guess. But it's kind of finicky. A lot of the time it doesn't work. So that would be like one way to incorporate it into normal runs. Also, that little getting stuck on the wall there, I was trying to fix this year. I was trying to redo this whole pendulum section. I have an idea that I think is going to be really good. And I couldn't. I couldn't get it to work. So I just left it in like this for now. And I'm hoping that that's going to be a big area of focus next year. Because I wanted to, like, mess with Trico in the hallway and, like, this eye and stuff. And that guy in front of the ledges just kept catching me. Because I didn't want him to have the spear with the reset. So I wanted to just run towards him, and I couldn't get him to do what he just did, which is try to catch me and miss. Because that's how you get up there. I couldn't. And the Platfecta was, like, the next day. I was like, nah, I just can't do this year. I bet Trico could come down this hallway faster. And I have it in my notes not to do the spiral staircase either. But again, didn't get to it. I still believe, like deep down, I believe, because sometimes Trico will run out of the hallway that we just came from. I want to believe that just like Aiden got that launch for helmet skip, that you can get that launch from Trico's head here and go straight to the eye. I believe that's possible. And that would just be ridiculous. That would save so much time. But I messed with it for a while. I think 2 years ago. I messed with it for like a week. And usually the boy just does this really lame flop. Like just past the ledge. He'll like flop on the edge and then roll off. So it's a little underwhelming. But you see to the right, there's not actually that much distance between the edge of that cliff and this eye. It's mostly height that's the problem, not distance. Oh, thank you about the captions. Sometimes they just decide to do that. And I think... Sancho, was this you? This is not mine. Once we get up here, this isn't mine. I think it was that cut, maybe. Yeah, like that was not me. It might have been Walter, it might have been Aiden. I don't think it was Aiden because the boy didn't have the headband. But that has very like Shadow the Colossus vibes. Yeah, Sancho, I thought I remembered you doing something wild here. Yeah, every now and then we have other runners, if they found something like really cool. I mean, obviously it still has to be fast, but... It took me a long time to get this right, I remember. But yeah, we had a ton of stuff from Aiden earlier. Just meeting Trico there. I don't remember whether Panda Plummet is faster. Oh, whoops. I didn't split. You're right. I was paying attention to Trico. That split would have happened at the rolly part up top. I think the cut there is because I'm about to make a cutscene jump. Not because anything with the eye went wrong. Because I'm on Trico's back now. Which is where you want to be. Like, I'm actually in a place where I could jump. And then, like, there's the jump before the cutscene's fully over. I need to, yeah, do the ledge jumps like that. And one of my notes wonders if that's possible everywhere that there's a ledge like that that's short enough you can jump, you know, to the destination on the other side. Oof. But I don't know if that's possible, so it would take some testing. Skip the cutscene there, that's why we did that. Instead of just running across that platform. I'm pretty sure I bonked the second guy here, which was something else that I meant to change but ran out of time. But yeah, we did make some changes to Drawbridge this year. Husbando was sitting next to me while I did the recordings and I was getting very frustrated. Pretty good run up the stairs there. No wobbles. Yeah, that one's pretty alright as well. Okay, here we go. I mean, it's not like a huge change, but it did save some time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we bonk on this guy. Yeah. So I'm gonna change that next year. That's in the notes. Super jump. Boing. And then, here we go. So we used to do dodge rolls across these, right? Now we're doing jumps. It's really, really hard to do this. Took me a long time. It's so hard because either you die, and you see it only saved a couple seconds, but it did save. It's really easy to die when you make the left turn, and then you lose basically all of your time save if you don't space your jumps exactly right, so that for the final jump you're on the edge of that bar. If you're far enough back that you have to walk, but like, you're far enough back that you can't jump and you can't dodge roll, so you just have to walk, you lose all of your time save. Oh god, plat TAS when? How fast would a plat TAS be? Like, every hint, as soon as it could happen. Whoopsie, not quite. Okay, there was barrel skip. I don't know if that time save is real. We'll see. You gotta grind to find out. Like, my PB, right, is like just over 11 hours, I think. Plat fecta TAS. I mean, we could do it if individual people tasked each game, right? Like, combine my task with an eco one and a shadow one. And shadow one would just be the glitched run, right? IMG. Grabbed onto the back like that to move the cart just a little bit so that we could do that jump up like that without having to hang. But yeah, I'm pretty sure my plat is just over 11 hours. Almost assuredly, we could get a plat task to be less than 10. Would it, like, I don't know. That was just kind of my assumption that it would save time because you're like, well, but I guess now that I think about it, there's trophies for each Colossus. And you, like, you skip them, right? In IMG, you skip some of them, so you'd have to do an additional run, and then, like, what's the point? So I'm gonna let this split like this, because I'm pretty sure that previous split is not correct. So we're gonna fix it. Yeah. We fixed it. Now we're back to 29.1. Why doesn't 50 Hertz have a plat? I'm sure you explained this when we were talking to Hyoki, but... Oh, because it's PS2. Right. So unless you do... There's something that lets you get PS2 trophies, right? Like an emulator or something. So unless you did that, it wouldn't be viable. Here's cutscene skip. I remember this. I still try every any percent. I think I've gotten it a total of like 4 or 5 times over all of the any percents I've done. Trico just has to be like super keyed into this jump. But hey, we didn't have to watch that cutscene, right? I know, right, Aiden? Oh, I forgot to split on time again. I have to, like, pay such close attention to the splits in order to maintain, like, to clarify how much we're ahead, that if it's not quite right, usually I don't want to split it. If it's like 2 seconds or something, it's fine. But... Have you ever had that, Aiden, where you get the cutscene skip? Because it's really satisfying. It's just, it's so hard. Tekezo, hello! How you doing? Nice to see you. Oh, we can fix that. Got stuck there for a second. Good, and you? Feeling pretty good. I've got a work function with Husbando later. I mean, we get free food, which is cool, but I don't really want to be out with a bunch of his co-workers, you know? So I guess I'll just focus on the free food. Yeah, that's why I say, Aiden, I'm pretty sure I've only gotten it like 4 or 5 times over like 6 years. And there was a period of time where I feel like I got it, like the majority of those times were within a very close period of me running. So again, I kind of wonder if it was just the Trico seed, you know? Like for a little while he was really good at it, and then he hasn't been ever since. So close, Dragon Sage. So let's see what we do here. Obviously, rope run is always going to be a thing. And actually, I bet that I could improve this by, like, perfectly timing the tap downs. But let's see if we do Panda Plummet. Or, like, the ridiculous sideways meat Trico thing. I think we do Panda Plummet because I think I was really sad to see my trick disappear because I had worked so long on it. Yeah, that's Panda Plummet. Just with a little bit of extra risk giving him that command. Because usually you don't have time for that. Like, you just slide off, but... So there you go, Sancho. You made it. Hey, Rick. Nice to see you. You made it, and I can almost guarantee you that Sancho Step is going to be in here, too. Like, there just is no better way to do that section, so... But I'm really excited. We're getting to one of the things that I worked really, really hard on. And it's a big save, so... I mean, it's still gonna be a little while. For perspective, in what would be considered a good any percent, like a nice pace any percent, we would be just now getting to Drawbridge at an hour. There's no better way yet. Fair. The only thing that would be better is if we found a way to, like, super boost the barrel and just, like, be able to throw it and get it straight through that door without having to do the box at all. In fact, maybe I'll write that down. Because I'm wondering now, can I, like, bank it off the wall or something and get lucky that it goes up instead of down? You know, kind of get a lucky physics bounce and it just yeets out there. But then the problem is, like, it's gonna yeet out there and then it's just gonna roll off the side. Because the momentum would have to be kind of wild in order to get it out there, but... Yeah, I kind of want to try that. So now, for this, as long as I touch the top, like this platform, doesn't matter that I fall off the edge there. Because that's where the checkpoint is, so... Now, while Trico does this, because he's gonna obviously be just kind of doing his best here, the dog is crying. I am gonna see what she's on about. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm pretty sure she's just crying because she's in her crate. Normally she doesn't cry in the crate. But she also can't see me because I had to move the crate. Because she can't be on the floor right now. After the contractor came. So she needs to stay in there for a second. You could save time with an early tail reset. Where? After you drop down onto Trico's tail, or... I mean, that would make sense, but like... Can you reset earlier than that? You're climbing up the tail. Oh. Noted, I have written it down. Thank you. Guess maybe the checkpoint is a little bit earlier than I realized. Just launched the tower. Ever since I had that dream that I launched up to drawbridge from underneath, I want something like that to be possible. And actually, I think this version of the TAS, this year, is the first instance of, like, an actual launch. That was one of the things that I finally was able to do. A launch that skips something. Because other launches, like, we get the super jump at drawbridge, but that's not really a launch, you know? Captions, please. Can you not? I would love that. Like, I want these games to come to PC. I don't know how to mod things. I would learn how to mod things. See you later, Sancho. Thanks for hanging out. You're gonna miss the really cool thing coming up. Possibly the biggest save of this year. I don't actually think that's true. Well... How long away? It's at, Dangly. So, it's a little ways. Don't feel like you have to stay. We have to do this section with Trico's tail, give him a barrel, go up top, do the fight with the shield armors, go follow Trico down to the jug, and then fall through the floor. That's how close we are to Dangly. But feel free to lurk, Sancho. I won't hold it against you, mostly. Ugh, vine skip. I mean, it works here, obviously, but I'm so done with doing this in... Whoops! I'm not gonna split that. I did split, but I wasn't tabbed into the live splits, so it didn't do it. I'm so done with doing vine skip in any percent. Like, I'm just gonna do modified vine skip and not die, you know? Sancho? Sancho, are you inspired? Vine skip from tail. I've written that down. Again, I wasn't paying attention because I was writing that down. I don't know, because you're kind of far away, but maybe there are vines somewhere else. Doesn't necessarily have to be those vines. There are vines, because like where Trico's facing right now are vines as well. No, that's the wrong corner. But there are vines on this pillar. Can we just drop down from Trico's tail? See, Sancho, you got the gears turning. When I get there in my hint-a-thon, I'll explore that. Just make sure you do it before your hints, or you'll lose them. Because, yeah, the pillar should be pretty close to Trico there. The pillar with the ton of vines going up the side. It's just kind of, I think, would you clip off... It's kind of like a hut shape. It's got like a roof and then the skinny pillar. So you might just kind of bonk off the top. I think there's potential there. You can lose hints. Yeah, if you die or reset the checkpoint, the hints may not have counted. Depends. I don't think I changed this fight this year, because I think I was pretty happy with it, so hopefully it goes very well. But again, like, if anybody wants to contribute to the task, these fights are a great place to do that. Oh, that's so far. Because, like, it's literally just you have to run the fights over and over and over. Ideally, we want everything dies in one hit, you know, but... Okay, I'll let you explore that, yeah. That's fine. I might even have a profile where I was testing for poop that's like right around this spot. Alright, let's see how we do here. Ooh, real close clip to that, that railing. Chose to knock that one out of the window. Usually I do the one on the left. I don't know why, I just... Was this new this year? I remember grinding this fight. No, but I remember being disappointed in that fight because in watching it back, it was obvious that I could have reset like a long time ago. I mean, I have so many profiles where I was testing for poop because I wanted to test, like, if I got poop in one place on one profile, can I play to that place on a different profile and get poop there as well? Is it a Trico thing? Is it a profile thing? Right? And the answer is, who knows? Because what we know for sure, and we saw it in the platinum percent, is if Trico poops during a checkpoint and you miss it, like, you can get it again during that checkpoint. But aside from that, like, who knows? Okay, I'm so excited for this. Dangly is a huge change. There are basically two things in this run that I consider to be, like, very large differences from last year, and this is one of them. I should share with you, I mean, I should just share in my Discord, there's a cute little, like, info sheet in Japanese with various pictures of Trico, and one of them has the boy pushing a green ball into Trico's face, and it says something like, the boy was confused about why Trico didn't like the ball until he realized that it was his poop. So I'm gonna fix this next year, this early part of Dangly. Aiden, I think you're one of the ones who does it correctly. Where you don't, like, do that jump like that. Skim the lever, hopefully. No. Oh yeah, but we still got the animation cancel. If you jump down... Ooh, and we move during the cutscene as well. If you jump down on levers like that and you kind of skim the boy's face off of them, it cancels his animation of, like, doing that, like, splatting on the ground. And he just immediately grabs. Alright, here we go. Here we go, here we go. You ready? I'm so excited. And I think some of you were there when I got this initial, like when I got this to work the first time, the first half of it. And this used to be Aiden's. Unfortunately, this used to be Aiden's section. Okay, here we go. This took so much figuring out. Okay. Donk, up into the ceiling. You're stuck for a second. You keep moving, jamming, and then jump up and right, and you're out. And because you touched the floor up here, that's the checkpoint. Because that's all it takes. That's the checkpoint. Oh, I need to split. That was a huge save. That's the checkpoint we use for regular dangly, right? As soon as you fly off Trico's tail and you hit the ground with your feet, you reset. So as long as we ended up there, it was the same principle. You just reset the checkpoint and it's done. The problem is getting that box to yeet off of there like that and actually put you somewhere that matters, you know? And those armors off to the left aren't awake right now. Like they're not running toward Trico. That was why we were down on the tail, so... Yeah, no, I'm like super happy about that. Because there's more of those like railing things and openings and stuff in the ceiling than it looks like. It's not just, you know, the one with Trico's tail. There was our Sancho step as well. Of course, Trico's already sitting down because we manipulated those two armors by not waking them up and having them run around. So yeah, that was like almost a minute of time save, and I split a little bit late as well. Because that puzzle, like you said, Aiden, that puzzle's cursed. I don't think anybody likes it. That could have been better. You can just hop straight out the window and, like, magnet hands onto the ledge. Okay, noted. Okay, chat likes that puzzle. Running close to the inside wall just because, you know, it's a little bit faster than running on the outside. Oh, he hasn't captured any of my commentary for this section. Captain, can you stop? And that was actually nice. You see how we got manipulated by the falling debris? It cut off our jump early and pushed back down so that the jump arc wasn't as long. Pairing up with Trico's AI here, he gets the command, but he still does the grab, which gets us onto his back quickly. Yeah, the debris made me go faster, for sure. And naturally, we expect Coliseum jump here. Because it removes some of the armors. The real pain is getting Trico into the arena. He just doesn't want to, you know? Okay, I think that split finally compensated, maybe, for how long it took me to split the other thing. We'll see. It'll be sorted out regardless. Yeah, so we just got the 1 armor. I don't think it's possible to get 0 armors. I guess I can try. Yeah, that was quick. And Trico's lined up for the thing already, so it was just good positioning for where he did that fight. I wonder if maybe I should do a little testing. Like, I think this is a good spot for this catapult in terms of, like, not pulling it any further than we have to. But I wonder if I can make it consistent just a little smaller. No, Cheville. The next big thing is at the fight with the other Trico. Well, not the fight, but basically cage puzzle. Yeah, no, that was right on the edge. Again, I wasn't paying attention, so we won't split that. I mean, there's some cool techniques for the water puzzles, but we've seen them before, so. Is Trico up here? What are you doing, dude? And again, I wasn't paying attention. All of this stuff with like trying to get Trico to move through hallways really quickly, I suspect that's where some of the biggest time save can be. Like, I worked really hard on manipulating his AI in all of these places. Like how far I am from him, can he see me, that kind of thing, but... And it's not even like, can I get him to run? Because a lot of the time, him running is slower than him just consistently walking. Because he does that, like, slam on the brakes thing right at the end. This is why we don't want him to run after early mirrors at the end. Because sometimes he'll run twice, and it's like, bro. Start, stop, you know? And again, perspective check here. A nice paced any percent expects to get to cage puzzle in about 2 hours. You want to be essentially in the cage at 2 hours. Yeah, he slams on the brake and then like looks around, and then he has to like pause before he takes that first step. Like, why was I so excited? And it's like, I don't know, man. Why were you so excited? So there's only one main change between this and just doing it as any percent. And that's... It might not even be in this section. I think it's in the next one. Because I think I practiced doing it with this section, and Trico just didn't respond. Yeah, no. No, this is just straight any percent. Because Trico's position here doesn't really matter. He'll dive even if he's not facing forward. So you can see like he's diving sideways. It doesn't matter. But it's this puzzle that I know that we can do a little bit differently. I mean, we do it a little differently than any percent. And it's quite swaggy, honestly. And you can see there, Trico actually came out of the water really fast. I don't know if you noticed him just kind of rocketing up to the surface. We have exactly enough air to do this. And then because we were underwater the whole time, Trico wasn't really paying attention to us. He was just getting where he needed to go. And then this is the part that's different from any percent. Instead of getting on his back and giving him this command, we went down under the water, which triggered Trico to be like, oh, my human's leaving me, I need to go. And then as soon as he dives, he re-triggers onto this door, like, oh, I'm underwater, this is where I'm supposed to be. So we basically just cut the entire part where we have to tell him where to go. We're just like, Trico, follow me! And he's like, okay. And off we go. So I'm pretty sure I found that on accident. Because I think I had solved the puzzle already. And then I was like, I want to go down and see if I can, like, look at the place where Trico goes. But you can't dive that deep. So I had started to dive, and then I noticed that Trico followed me when I dived. Dove. Whatever. And that was kind of where that was born. Getting into these cages as fast as possible is so frustrating. Because they have an invisible wall until the, like, great thing is down. So you can't just, like, squeeze your way into it before it makes the little, like, chunk of fully opening. That's also why we can't, at least to my knowledge, because I've tried a lot, we can't clip back out of the cage up top. Because again, it has the invisible wall, as long as the doors aren't fully open. Swaggy railing run, of course. Yeah, Mort's brain really never finished loading. So this section is the other, I would describe it as major change, for sure. There's a ton of stuff going on here. It took me a long time to figure out how this was going to work. So the inspiration from it came September or October, whatever, when somebody in the Discord was talking about, I think it was Brian who originally discovered it, and somehow I missed it. I missed Brian's original discovery. That you can get up here without triggering the cutscene, and you'll see what happens. The really sucky thing is that the checkpoint isn't, like, anywhere near this. So I had to climb up every time that I couldn't get this to work. Alright, so here we go. Usually we would go off to the right, right? And the checkpoint is off to the right. So we're not triggering the checkpoint, which is why this works the way it does. Since we're not triggering the checkpoint before it, we can't trigger the checkpoint after it, which is often how Last Guardian works. So you can see, this cutscene didn't trigger. You have to climb those vines, because it just won't let you. Now, next checkpoint is inside after you have triggered the fight with the other Trico. So we go over here, we bash our heads against this to move into, hey, we got that checkpoint. Because normally you wouldn't be able to do that with the other Trico, right? So now the invisible walls on the window don't exist anymore. So we can difficultly stand on the window. We need this rock to be here, and usually you knock it down when you end up in the window, so that you can exactly make this jump up onto the ledge, and then you're done. Really enjoyed the sumo streams. Thank you. When is usually sumo season? It every couple months. There's no like one season. It usually cycles every couple months. So yeah, I spent a long time figuring out how to get around those invisible walls in the window. And you can see there was like a lot of cuts in there, because trying to even get the checkpoint to trigger by bashing your head into that window was like super, super rare. But you could hear that even as soon as I was in the window, like I was standing on the edge, it was playing the music for being past that checkpoint. Because it'll start playing different music once you have triggered that new checkpoint. So yeah, I mean, there's no way to do that in a run. Because obviously she's chasing you during a run. And you're just gonna stand there, like I did, for 20 minutes at a time, trying to bash your head into that window, and then run over and do ledge jump. And she's gonna be chasing you the entire time. And as soon as you're inside that window, you need to not knock that stone down so that you can stand on it. And she's still chasing you, and she's gonna jam her head through that window and both knock you down and explode all of those rocks, right? So if she's chasing you, there's not enough time. There's not enough time to do all of that. Don't forget to split this one. Yeah, for sure. But thank you, Shabil. Appreciate it. Because yeah, obviously that's a huge save. We don't have to climb the rest of the way up. We don't have to watch the cutscene. We don't have to do the fight with the other Trico where we wait for her to stick her head through the hole. Or occasionally both holes, depends on how you play it. So it's a lot. I think this was, weirdly enough, I think this was where I spent the most time. Even though it seems like Dangly was harder, I'm pretty sure this is where I spent the most time. And part of it was because, like I said, if you can't get that to work, the next checkpoint is down at the bottom of the stairs, which really sucks. But also just because, yeah, I mean, there were so many times where it's like, jam your head into this door for half an hour. Oh, okay, now it actually worked. I need to pay attention that it actually worked and run over and do ledge jump. Oh, I didn't get ledge jump, you know. Or, oh, I landed in the window, but then fell out because it doesn't want you to be there, right? Like, there was just so much. And then, of course, there was the jump with the stone thing. And sometimes I had to, like, shimmy the stone a little bit because it wasn't in the right spot. But most of the time, I would just jump up in there and accidentally kick it, and then it would be gone. Which is why I posted a picture in my Discord of that rock and said, this is a special tool that will help us later. soon as we can see Trico's face. So another big puzzle. Now the rock makes sense. So yeah, I was really proud of both of those. And there was a lot more that I wanted to change. Especially toward the end game, but it's just still on the list, you know? Oh, that's such a weird angle for Cage. But I hook myself around the rock. One of the things I spent a lot of time on this year, because obviously not all of them are bangers, right? Not all of the things you try work. So I spent a lot of time this year messing with this section. Because you can see here I'm jumping at like careful intervals to make sure I don't break my leg. Because you're supposed to break your leg during that section. So I was trying it here. I was trying to see if it was possible not to break your leg here. And I could get down to this. And then I'm pretty sure you have to break your leg there. So I could get it to work. Because I thought that if I didn't break my leg, right, like I could start running down here faster. And there is a checkpoint reset you could do here, but I timed it out once and it didn't, like it wasn't worth it. So the best way to do it would be to just not have a broken leg, which is why I wanted to do it that way. All in one! Yeah! That's so satisfying. No, that's what I call bowling. Now that's what I call bowling. 46. Do you even know what number of... No, that's what I call music. They're on now. I like that my captions even knew that that was a thing and capitalized it. Yeah, I might keep trying it next year. See if I can get no broken leg, but I don't think it's possible. The thing that sucks is that if it were possible, you would still have to do that entire run of not breaking your leg. It's not just that initial fall, right? You would have to keep doing it until the boy landed at the bottom, so like the odds that you would even get it if it were possible is just so small. That's what I call music 90. I would have thought they were in the hundreds. Little double command there for Trico. I can't believe this is already the last day of Treaksmas. I'm really happy with how Treaksmas shook out this year. And I have a ton of ideas for next year that are also like things we've never done. But, I mean, I guess just because I'm done with Treaksmas doesn't mean that everybody else is. I'm pretty sure that Tic Tac and Stocky wanted to race, or Tic Tac was going to do like all platforms or something. So, the spirit of Treaksmas lives on in others. But I am going to be out of town, / have visitors. We have our annual friend who comes over for like 5 days between Christmas and New Year's. And we play board games and watch horror movies. So as always, if you got horror movies slash, like, scary drama stuff, you know, in the vein of, like, Get Out or, what's the one about the deaf girl? And the guy from The Office is in it. That one as well. You know, things like that. Cloverfield, etc. If you have recommendations, let me know. We watched quite a few that you all recommended last time. This for 4 seconds. You were so close. Yeah, Aiden, I mean, I think that the main thing you missed, obviously, was the Platfecta. Which was, whew. But I mean, the race with Sancho was really fun, stuff like that. Really? It might have been this exact same time in the run. There tends to be a cadence to it, you know? Is that the closest anyone's got? I think so. I think 4 seconds. Previously it was like 9 or something, I think. Someone was trying for 1 second, really? I must have been so focused I didn't notice. So again, right, we expect runners on a good pace to be in the cage at 2 hours. And we are past the cage at 1:41. You'll love to see it. I think it was Tic Tac. You weren't paying close attention to chat for the 35 hours that stream lasted? I mean, obviously that's by far my longest stream. I think the longest before that was like 13 hours. For Last Guardian Plat, of course. I think the first one I ever did. And I'm really proud of that. I am not gonna do a Platfecta next year. Sorry. Head to platform. Love to see it. We could fix that jump, but I'm pretty sure I have that in my notes already. I wouldn't mind doing another Tricofecta though. Like a solo Tricofecta. Eco is usually the problem with that. Like that's where I'm weakest. Which is weird because like I know Eco more than I'm good at the tricks in Shadow, but I don't know. Eco I'm always just so close to 2 hours and you really need like a 1:45 or something. Well, here's cutscene time, so if you need a drink, if you need anything, now's a good time to go get it. Forgot to split because I was taking a drink. Yeah, the only thing that's different between the TAS and a regular run here is just like Trico does a really good job during his scripted thing. Stretch at TAS speed. Oh, I have a message from Husbando. Pretty sure Husbando is wearing like tan-colored pants today. And he sent me a message saying, one of my blueberries was weirdly wet and oozy and gross, so I picked it up and was like, nope, don't want this one. And then instead of putting it in the trash, I just dropped the oozy wet side right onto my pants. Rip in peace. It's surprising to me, honestly, that Eco hasn't gotten like the Blue Point PS3 level of remake. right? That Shadow did. Like, I understand it's not as popular, but, you know, I feel like that should be a thing. I looked up from Husbando's message and saw this white screen, and I was like, oh god, it crashed. But no, this is just what it always does.
Ayurabo, Oti Ukaya, Anetu Tara, Ate de Keda Lozi,
Oh, I'm texting Husbando. And I just said, can you call the Spankaroni? And he's the only one who would know what that means. Yeah, with Project Robot, I feel like the entire Team Eco series could see like a renaissance, you know? Because I really want to mod Last Guardian, which would require it to be on PC. If it were on PC, it would be easier to like look at the back end and stuff like that. I mean, you would, well, I was gonna say you would truly be able to have a TAS, but I don't know that tassing Last Guardian is possible. Like, genuinely tassing as in tool-assisted speedruns, where you just put in the inputs. Because that's how a TAS works. Like, for Mario, as an example, you just have a series of inputs, and they are exactly correct, right? But for Last Guardian, because Trico's an AI, you can't just be like, okay, jump at a 47-degree angle and you'll land on Trico's leg. Like, Trico can do whatever the hell he wants. So... And I don't think that any amount of being precise is going to make Trico do the same thing every time. I don't think it's actually possible to task Last Guardian. We already spend a lot of time looking at Trico's back end. Some might even call it an obsession. But yeah, I mean, having Eco remastered, having Last Guardian on PC... Like, I don't know how hard it is to mod games, but like, by God, I'm gonna figure it out, you know? I want there to be a checkpoint select, you know, like a chapter select. I want there to be the ability to like go places not in a linear order. Things like that. Who's this Chico that speech text keeps talking about, right? Because, like, imagine if you modded Last Guardian where, like... Okay, so hear me out, right? What if you modded Last Guardian to be a game that you could just, like, wander around in? And so if there's armors in an area, you fight the armors, and then once they're dead, the blue door becomes a teleporter. And you can go between any other blue door that you have cleared, right? And Trico spawns at whatever checkpoint is closest to that. That would be so much better. And that would let you do so many cool things, like Last Guardian scavenger hunt, or I need a specific hint, make me not play the game again. I want to run an IL, you know? I just want to walk around with Trico, because then you can start to do things like going backwards and doing all sorts of ridiculous stuff, you know? Yeah, that's true. A Last Guardian task, like a true task, would just be like trying to get the boy to scale walls and stuff. Stuff that would genuinely be without Trico's influence. Yeah, easy save states, right? Save states or chapter select, either one would be huge. Nice run there on the camera being backwards. That's always so hard. But yeah, and then obviously you can get into like, wow, spinny. You can get into the goofy mods like change Trico into the magic school bus or whatever. I keep saying this. I just want to change the skins. I want Trico to be the boy and the boy to be Trico, you know? Like I just want it to be cursed like that. Modded long neck Trico. Imagine how different it would be solving puzzles if Trico had a neck that was like 4 times as long. It would just look like the Wiggler armor from Monster Hunter. First try mine skip. Course. Smart Trico mod. Yeah, you could just like literally mod him to just go in a straight line from where he starts to where he needs to go, right? And honestly, it could be kind of fun to like mod a crossover of Last Guardian and Shadow the Colossus, where like you have Wonder's moveset, you have Wonder's like grab mechanic with stamina. Because I bet that would make a big difference in just like how you play the game. Ooh, and you could enable mirror mode. That's another thing that I would be really excited about. Just play Mirror World. Because I tell you, playing a game in mirrored mode turns it into a completely new game. And you don't think it will, but it does. Oh yeah, mirror at all times. That's another good one. For fighting armors and stuff. Wasn't paying attention. Combine Last Guardian, the boy having a mirror, with the Breath of the Wild mechanic where you can shield surf. We'd be doing some sick moves. 4 times longer neck. No, 4 times longer no neck and no limbs. He's just extremely long and then he has this spindly little tail. I feel like I was gonna go back and change this fight. Like when I was just recording like a month ago. I was gonna go back and change this fight and then I actually watched it and I was like, oh, this is fine. I mean, we'll see, right? But... stopping this guy, trying to keep him close to where the other armors are gonna end up, is basically the goal here. So that Trico can get more than one at once. You can see that other armor's lining up with him to throw. Oh hey, we actually even got him down. It's like the first time Boy has killed an armor completely by himself. Yeah, the fight's just already over, so that's quite good. Oh, and Trico didn't even stay angry. Because the fight was over so fast that he already had the cooldown. Again, a really nice, like, one seg thing. And I mean, yeah, this White Tower skip. It was one of the things that I was proudest of the year that it came out, and it's still, like, really cool. I'm not even gonna be humble about it. It's, like, really cool. We're getting up toward the front of Trico so that we can drop off and do a long run immediately. The legs are 6 times longer. Wow. What a jump. And a good run as well. We cheesed it so that the controls weren't backwards. You can see I didn't zip off to the side. Oh, actually, this is you, Aiden. So good run, man. You replaced mine, it turns out. So you must have skipped over the trigger for the controls to be sideways. Get in here, tap down, up we go, around the side, and we're done. And it's that fast grab. We didn't do the one-handed grab, so... I wish there was a way to make this faster. I love all of the things that chat is recommending for mods. But I mean, you have to admit, right, that having Trico with the boys' visuals would just be horrifying, right? Like the boy just crawling around on all fours, grabbing a human-sized Trico with his mouth. I wish there was a way for me to do that thing where Trico glitched out here and he didn't actually catch me and then the boy went like rocketing away. I suspect that if we could get the boy to rocket past where Trico just fell, it would trigger the next checkpoint. But I have no concept of how to grind that out. It's literally only happened that one time. Just put aggro into the game. Like, just ride around on aggro on all of these buildings and just have like a debug mode. So that when eventually aggro can't do something, you just teleport somewhere. Yeah, exactly. You just map it directly onto Trico and it would just be like this eldritch abomination. It would be wonderful. Imagine submitting that version to GDQ. Ooh, didn't even look. I remember being so sad because in this section something really cool happened with like me like jumping over the gargoyles. I don't quite remember, but it was like the 30 seconds that I chose not to record. Yeah, I don't even remember what it was, but it absolutely would have been in the TAS if I had recorded it. Yeah, mod where Yorda is in the game and her natural instinct is to hold on to Trico, but then you have to worry about she gets sheared off on the walls when Trico's carrying her, or armors try to like grab her off of Trico. And then she's just running around being like, help! Hey Alu, nice to see ya. How you doing? You could also swap the armors for shadows and see how Trico responds. Oh yeah, swapping Yorda would also be really cute. Like now it's Yorda and Trico. I'm saving that because the split wasn't quite right. So we're gonna fix it. And then it would also be fun to do things like, you know, cut gravity by half or something, you know. Just little ridiculous things like that. Nice grab. That was actually a fall damage cancel. Saved a lot of animation time. And by a lot, I mean like 0.7 seconds. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better. That's wonderful. We are currently discussing all of the ridiculous things we would mod in Last Guardian if it was on PC. The insert poop mod. No, okay. Poop becomes... You give poop the same features as Trico's paw. So you can just, like, get Trico to poop on command, and then if you throw it in an armor, it can, like, destroy them. And that just becomes, like, the boy with the most oversized grenades you've ever seen. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess it's not really possible. I don't think there's anywhere Trico can poop where there's also armors nearby. Well, no, that's not true. There is one place that we could test this. If Trico pooped in the area right after the shield armor fight, but before you fight the armors where you have to put the heads on, you could throw a poop at an armor, and I wonder what would happen. I imagine it would just hit them like a barrel, because as we determined, poop is the heaviest thing in the game. So, besides Trico, obviously. So I would be interested to see what happened. Replace barrel models with poop models, I love it. Yeah, exactly. Just make Trico just like... He's just like a little Pez dispenser. I've been dreaming too small. The sky's the limit. This fight is actually really cool in the TAS. There was a lot of sick moves, if you will. It was just like completely 100%. Because like the female Trico is always super consistent in what she does. So just knowing that and being able to manipulate it. Also, remember, 2 hours, we're supposed to be in cage. At this point. I remember being so happy when this finally happened. This jump here, onto the leg. Because then we're down here, we're already moving through the leg. There's the tail. Tail's already through the door, which means we can grab the lever before this cutscene ends and already be pulling it. That was actually a pretty delayed run through there, but it doesn't matter because this is on a timer, so... I mean, it matters in the sense that we need to be able to do that before the cutscene, but... Yeah, that jump has survived many TAS versions. It's pretty sweet. I could probably, I'm gonna write it down, because I could probably make it better by landing on my feet at the bottom. Because I did land on my feet, but then the boy did like the long fall on his butt again thing. I didn't split this because I picked up my phone. Where did my draft go? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna call it Lady Leg Grab. So yeah, I bet that I could... Oh god, I remember this. It's so cool though. I bet that I could do it faster by... Like, I might even be able to just jump off. I wonder if I could land on her butt and just jump instead. And it's nice, you know, we get to do this section at nighttime, which is not usually what we do in any percent. Just a nice change of pace. It's a good reminder. Put your gold splits together. Did I not chain this? No, I did, right? I was just looking down. We're like, yeah. I destroyed the first armor before the cutscene played, right? I was looking down for a second. Because I was like, I worked so hard on that. What do you mean? Or I destroyed it during the cutscene or something. I don't remember. I was testing a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it would be really fun to just, like, change gravity, do half gravity or whatever. Change the physics. Because even at 60 frames per second, things get really funky, you know? Like the master expanding so fast. So just, like, mess with things like that. Run it at 120 and see barrels just careening off into the distance. Because that's what they do at 60. They go really far. Yeah, I fell on the carts directly, but when I pick up the mirror, I should have been able, in the TAS, to destroy one of the armor platforms before it refocused my mirror and kicked me out of being able to use it. And then I destroyed the other one afterward. Because I remember grinding that for, like, weeks. Now, you know, if we can get Trico to eat 2 barrels at the beginning... You see where I'm going here? I'm gonna write that down. Our ideas just get progressively more wild, but, I mean, that's what saves time, you know? In theory, it's possible. Exactly. Like, if he did it before, unless there's something specifically saying Trico needs to, like, lift his head 4 times, then there's no reason that that wouldn't be possible. Yeah, exactly. You should try balancing barrels at this feeding point. Because the problem is he's really bad at picking them up if you put them on the ground. That's why we hold them. But, I mean, if you can get over that and lucky enough to stack 2 barrels, probably what would happen is he would just reach for one of them and the other one would go flying off somewhere. Like the top one. But either that or just positioning them side by side in the same orientation as his nose might also work. Thanks for the lizard treat, Rick. I'll post a bunch of videos and stuff of everybody getting their treats in Discord. Because there have been a lot of redemptions where I was, like, busy and I couldn't do it. I remember for some reason this section taking a long time to get right. Like this specific spot with getting Trico to turn really quickly. Yeah, and doing that spinny was like really important because otherwise Trico would like turn a little bit, turn a little bit, turn a little bit, and then be ready instead of just doing the spin and then he was good to go. Same with the spin up here, which is really funny because I think it's here. He just turns to the right. Yeah. Oh no, it's to the left. No, it's to the right. Trico, make up your mind. But yeah, usually during any percent, right, we get this spinny here where he turns to the left and then turns around to go up and do this. This, I think, is the oldest clip that I have in the TAS. This was at least 4 years ago. I got this during an any percent, and I'm pretty sure that at the time my any percent PB was like a 340. It was really high. And he's only ever really done that the once, so it's just funny that even when I was still basically a beginner at this run, Trico did something that was pass-worthy. Yeah, he always does the spins there, right? Doesn't matter if you give him a command or what direction you're facing or whatever. That jump is always a little bit stressful. As is getting up onto that ledge, as you can see. But we need to get Trico to turn around, so really, like, perfection there doesn't matter. How much physics jank happens at high frame rate? Like, a lot. So it would be really fun to turn the frame rate up to like 120 or something. Like, I have a gaming PC. It could handle a very high frame rate. So, because yeah, in 60 FPS, if sometimes if you throw a barrel and it hits the ground just right, it just goes. Like, it goes. It's like a rocket. And obviously the master, his aura expands twice as fast, so you have to basically be perfect in order to get up without getting knocked back down. Trico kind of zoops all over the place. He tends to spin pretty quickly sometimes, or he'll get stuck. That's why before the fight with the other Trico that we just passed, usually at that spot, he'll just zip off into the distance and crash the game. It's really funny. Oh yeah, that's true, Sancho. What happens if we lower it? Like, would Trico just not be able to do anything? Like, we have no concept of what might happen, right? It's always so satisfying to see this section go well. It's so easy for it to not go well. Could you believe we're at 2:13 and we're almost at the end of the game? Trico misses all his jumps, but the game doesn't understand what's happening. Like, I don't know what would happen during the things where, like, he's scripted to catch you if the frame rate were different. You know? Like, as soon as you jumped, would he just, like, way overshoot and then you would die? Like, he would just do it immediately, not waiting for you? Or would he be, like, super slow on it? Would it just, like, jettison him forward? I don't know. Mort lick glass. So it would be so much fun to just mess with all that stuff. I would live for that for like months. And imagine. Mort, that doesn't make no sense, man. Are you working very hard on tasting the glass? Imagine... Oops, I didn't split early mirrors. Imagine what the fights would be like. Like, if Trico hit an armor with his paw at like 120 frames a second, it might just go rocketing off so fast that it crashes the game. Yeah, we would basically never do this shot like this on Trico's back. It doesn't matter that I lost focus on it, because as long as Trico is charging, only the end shot is what matters. And also, we're not going to split this because we never split it, so. Ooh, you know something else that I would want? It's like super basic, but it would be really funny. I've talked about this before, but like every now and then, and it's super rare. I know that Yuzu had it happen once during a marathon, actually. I don't think it was during our all barrels, but I know that I was there. Super, super rarely, when the game starts, Trico doesn't load in correctly, and that's like the Trico you have for the whole game. So, like his mesh didn't load right. And for Yuzu, that was what caused the yeet into the wall, the zoop. Which the official name is the U-zoop because it happened to Yuzu. And usually when that happens, you can tell that it has happened because either the boy won't grab onto Trico, or because Trico's ears just start helicoptering. They're completely loose in his head and they just spin around in circles, and it's fantastic. And I would just make that like a toggleable feature, just like his badge. Just be able to turn on helicopter ears. Where does that gargoyle go? Oh god, Aiden! Why would you do that? This is you again. Yeah, getting onto the gargoyle that way was ridiculous, man. What do you mean, Cheville? Like it just... the White Tower didn't load correctly? Wow, Trico was just sitting there all proud like. I mean, I guess that you're right though, Cheville. Like, we could have had just like a kind of weirdly loaded Trico. And that was why he didn't catch me. This is all single seg. Like, really nice, Aiden. And it's back to me now just because I got that nice drop onto him there. Sadly, I think I lost the footage. There was one time, Trico, when we came into here, he shot me across the entire room. Like, right to the lever. It was really nice. So excited for White Tower, as always. Like, that's... I don't necessarily know if that's my crowning achievement. I would like to think maybe it is. But it's always fun to get to that part of the task. What does this platform behind us lead to? I've never considered really like what's behind us for stuff like this. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter because there's a gate over here. There is a gate, right? Oh no, it's open. I wonder. What's behind Trico? Gargoyles and platform on 2 towers. I doubt that it does anything, but if we could like leave Trico behind for a second, that might actually be really valuable. Yeah, getting this to work, I tell you what. This is so hard. I don't know how people actually, like, do this in any percent. I mean, I know how they do it, but it's just such a risky thing to do. There we go. And thankfully, Trico's just like right on that jump. That would have sucked to have that happen and then have him just putz around. But it's really nice because he's not angry, right? Like, he didn't actually know that that existed. I'm also gonna add my notes, I think. Get thrown the lever at 2 towers. Because I got it to happen once, and that seems more like a physics abuse kind of thing. And so I could probably get it to happen again. Like, just imagine zooping off of Trico's head and then just being at the lever already in the middle of grabbing it, you know? Yeah, no, he doesn't care. Trico is 100% like looking at something else as his tail just thinks independently. I mean, I guess we know that, right? Because it works even when it's not attached to him. Trico's tail is just tail from Centaur World. This part of the run is always so... I don't want to call it tense, but like, you just really want it to be over because it's very basic. And you're just like, okay, I need to get to White Tower because White Tower is going to make or break this. And so I just want to be done with this, you know? I wish that 2 Towers was like 1 tier shorter. Like, I wish that we just started with these 2 places with the bridge, you know? Why is my computer lagging? Can we stop? Oh, I remember this. This was so cool. I was so proud when I finally got this to work. I ran this like a lot. You can see me almost die there because I fell like in between the 2 pieces and then kind of clipped back up. So that was like the fastest that could be. Otherwise I would have died. Yeah, this game is like a movie. It's really nice to... It's like tense and stuff, but you have so much time to contemplate and just like watch what's happening. My computer is working really hard, and I don't know why. It's just like started to do that, so... a little concerned. Hang on, buddy. We don't need to go that much longer. Okay. Maybe calming back down, I don't know. Okay. Arguably one of the coolest things in this entire TAS, right here. Alright, we get grabbed by this armor. He pushes me forward a little bit. Different armor, but just because I needed to get this to work. Trico comes over, slams me into the wall, past both invisible walls that are inside White Tower. They're back to back. And then recall there's a checkpoint inside the front door. Well, the back door. So as long as I touch there, it triggers a checkpoint. We fall through that as well because I don't know. I think it's because we trigger, as I recall, you can't trigger this checkpoint in the elevator without triggering the first checkpoint, right? Which is why we had to grab the initial ledge, and then we had to let ourselves fall, because then we were in the center of the tower, which is directly underneath this elevator, right? And so that gave us the second checkpoint, I believe, is how that works. Spent forever doing this too. And yeah, if you just like go inside the White Tower like that and just look around, you can see all of these helmets that I'm pulling out just have like a big green box behind them. We clipped that guy and woke up the other armor. And I don't know, it's just really cool to kind of see a glimpse into the back end. Oof, blind run there. Really easy to run into the walls. And the timing on this is so close. Because now I think there's guys coming from behind me as well. But as long as we get that cutscene, doesn't matter. Because, you know, you just get the instant teleport immediately after the cutscene finishes, so it doesn't matter where the armors are at that point. Now, check out this fight, because I'm pretty sure, like I said, I was gonna try to tidy this up, and then I watched it, and I was like, I don't think that I can beat this. But as always, like I said, if you want to try to contribute to the task, these fights are one of the best places to do it. Because there's just so much randomness. Eventually, you know, somebody's probably going to hit on something that's faster. Like, all of this was very carefully planned. About, like, where I'm standing, how fast I went around that plinth also matters. To make sure that you'll see the guy behind me. Right there. I wanted him to stop me while Trico was still facing in this direction. And you could see that I knew Trico wasn't going to hit anything with that charge, so I didn't want to just stop him and force him to shoot at nothing. Didn't want to aim at the same thing as Trico, because obviously, you know, that's a waste. Of course his tail's like directly on top of it, but thankfully Trico's doing a good job, so. And one of the biggest things actually about this is Trico is actually taking care of things behind me. That almost never happens. Like, he actually got that one-horned armor, which he almost always just leaves, and I have to help him with it. If you time the guy dropping his shield, the first time, double shot there, which is wonderful, then the second guy will automatically drop it. You don't actually have to surprise him. Yeah, no, it's super hard to grind. I did this for a couple days, and then I was like, nah, this is good. Because it's also one of the easiest things to come back to, you know? You're just like, oh, I want to try to make the task better. Let me just do this fight 50 times. And it ends up being the lightning that kills that guy because Trico was being a goob. Nice jump into there. So basically, we don't really have execution heavy things left. You know? I mean, I guess there's the master. And there's kind of getting the cutscene to trigger for Trico. Can we not lag like that, please? Just want to get to the end of the stream. Like, I think I know why it's lagging. Like, why the computer's working so hard. It's because of background processes that I have to be running right now. Only for this stream. But... because I basically have, like, 10 gigs of always active content in OBS right now, so... it's just trying to figure out what to do with that among the 15 million Chrome tabs that I have open. Trico did a good job here. Right onto the short path. There's a short and a long way to get up here. One takes, I think, 3 jumps, and one takes 5? Technically 6, but then we do the jump into the hole early. Or it might be 4 and 5. I don't quite remember. But I mean, as you can see, this one's gonna be 3. And then when Trico turns here, we just jump into the hole. Phase in, so we don't have to do the hang, which we grabbed that from a stream from quite a few years ago. Sancho, I think, was actually the one who clipped it. And being a little bit up onto this ridge, you know, obviously that's just less that we have to run here in a second. Just getting as close to the master as possible. Which is hard because it's really easy to actually just run into him. And again, that's a long way from being in the middle. Like, you would never do that in any percent. You would shrink him down a lot more than that. It's really a miracle we didn't get hit as we were coming out of there anyway. It's a shame that we came up underneath that and had to do the one shimmy sideways. But, you know. Ooh, and we didn't even fall down. Really nice. Yeah, any other time you would have got hit. It was so close. So it was literally like the fastest that you could do that because you spend as little time as possible shrinking the master. Because I'm pretty sure that his little spikes touched my feet. All we have to do is grab onto one of those, and that's a checkpoint. So we don't actually have to go out with Trico. The only time we usually do it during any percent and stuff is because we want to look for poops. And it just puts you right where the cutscene starts, so... And you can already be running toward Trico right after this scene here plays. Because it's going to drop the barriers on the tower next. Yeah, that was basically like as fast as you could do that, because you're inputting for the boy to turn and the camera to spin during the cutscene. So then it just takes like a minute of his momentum kicking in. And obviously, as we say basically every time we're here, you just want this part to be over as fast as possible. When you're here in an any percent and you're on PB pace, this feels agonizing. Because there's still more than 5 minutes, I believe. I guess we could look at the splits and I could tell you, but I'm not gonna tell you. Because I mean, according to pace, it's about 5 minutes, right? And it's the longest 5 minutes of your life when you're getting ready to take the world record. Because there's still the problem, and this game loves things like this. The problem is that a bad tail drop on the master could be catastrophic, right? You could take 3 pulls to get that tail down, and then you don't land on your feet, and then it takes 2 shots for the master. And it's like, okay, that's a minute or more. I mean, worst case scenario, the boy clips off of the tail, which sucks, because then the boy just falls down to the master, and it resets your progress on the tail, because you have to reload the checkpoint. But that, I think that's only happened to me like once. So yeah, usually you grab the tail and then immediately you can tell like, aw man, this sucks, you know? Or hey, this tail is gonna work really well. Captions. Could I please just have captions? Now, obviously, another huge thing would be if we could figure out how to make this Trico go faster. I'm pretty sure we can't. I'm pretty sure that Ueda said this takes as long as it takes. I don't know in what context he said that. I remember reading it. Because I tried, you know, in doing a lot of testing, I tried moving around. Because for other places in the game, you know, you can make Trico, and you can see I'm moving around here. You can make Trico look in certain directions based on where you are on him. So I was trying to move and get this Trico. I mean, he did go close to that tower because I'm on that side, right? And his AI is kind of being a little buggy. But, I mean, you see, he's adjusting his head based on where I am. So I was trying to really get him to do this as fast as possible. But, I mean, it's a scripted thing, right? It's a scripted thing like all of Trico's scripted things, except he has no obstacles. So because of that, he's just always going to do it the same. Can you pet him? I don't know, actually. I would imagine you could pet him. I think someone said you could fall off during this. I should try. Just hit the let go button. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, because you can fall off during other scripted things too that you're not supposed to be able to fall off during. Like when Trico grabs you on White Tower. The jump toward drawbridge from the dropped eye. You can absolutely fall off on that, and that's a real risk during any percent. I think Brian said that? Maybe. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that just lasts as long as it lasts. Maybe I made a small difference in climbing on him like that and getting him to go a little closer to that tower. But I mean, I think he's basically on wheels. Or I'm sorry, on rails is the term. Basically on wings, yeah. Obviously, we're approaching the end of the gameplay section of this task. I do like to play the cutscenes at the end of these, just so we have like a complete video. But I hope y'all had fun with both the innovations that we've had in previous years and the couple that were new this year. There were a lot of tiny things, you know, save a second or two. But it was mostly just the dangly clip and skipping the fight with the other Trico. Land on our feet, of course. And we don't even stumble onto our butt. And this should be a one-hit kill. Or else it wouldn't be here. And there you go. So we have improved our time by 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Especially with like dangly. Because I feel like with dangly, like the boy's head or something is what's clipped into there. Because otherwise he would be getting a different view, right? Which is why you just have to like jam, and then eventually the boy is up top. But from what I could tell, he was like up top, but then he was just putzing around in the debris before he could move. And so I don't know if I could have done that faster. I don't know if I could have like jumped straight up without the joystick to try to just get him to come out of it and then made a jump. But on the other hand, I think I landed directly on Trico, and Trico was turning around, facing where he needed to go, so I feel like that was pretty good, you know? Aw, thanks, director. Appreciate it. Yeah, the Susan skip was just like a lot of pieces. Like, there's no way I would ever be able to do that in one seg, but it would be amazing to do it in one seg. And I know, like, at one point during it, because I had been doing it for so long, each part of it I had been doing for so long, that at one point of it I was like listening to music, which is why a section of it doesn't have audio, because there was music in the background. Can we stream for 15 more minutes for no reason? Of course we can. We're watching the end cutscenes. The end cutscene should be 18 minutes? Either 18 minutes or 12 minutes. It actually might be 12 minutes. Yeah, if you don't skip them, they're super long. That's why, like, GDQ will never take that incentive. Because I think it's a total of 22 minutes. Or 23 minutes across the entire run for cutscenes. So usually I just say, like, if you want to watch the end cutscenes, and that's still too long for them, so. Most of it's the credits, you know, honestly. But yeah, that Susan skip. I mean, credit to whoever posted that in the Discord. It wasn't somebody like Brian, although Brian was the one that discovered it, I think. It was just like somebody who doesn't run Last Guardian and just really enjoys it. They were the one who shared that you can get up there as Brian discovered without triggering her fight. And I was like, oh, I completely, you know, forgot that this was a thing. Let's see what we can do with this, right? But yeah, like, honestly, the hardest part, I would say, of that whole thing is getting that checkpoint to trigger. Like, jamming your head into that window. Because I almost think that the boy's head kind of has to clip. Something about his head has to accidentally end up inside that room. Because otherwise you're just jamming your face against a wall, and who cares, right? So I don't know if it was just like an accident. But I don't even remember. It might not even be that the footage I used was the footage of me clipping in. because my run from the window to ledge jump off to the left, I think I like stumbled. And so I needed like a clean run in order for that to be as fast as possible. But I always did like roughly the same number of jumps. Because after that you kind of, you know, when you jump into a wall in Last Guardian, it pushes you away from it a little bit. And then gradually you get closer and closer to the wall as you jump. And so after you do a certain number of jumps in that spot, you're kind of like weirdly wedged into the wall and your head is bonking against something and you need to not be doing that. So you just do the jump a couple times, then you stop, you know? Why doesn't Trico just put you face first in a puddle? It's been so long since I've watched these. Surely I light up Trico's horns at the end. I would have to think so. But yeah, so clipping your head into there or whatever to trigger that checkpoint is the hardest, because before that I spent a lot of time in previous years, you know, doing the fight with Susan and then luring her over to the corner and trying to like vault off of her to get into the windows. And yeah, it just has the invisible wall, so you have to do the checkpoint. And then ledge jump isn't actually that hard once the window is accessible. Like, you can tell it doesn't want you to be there in the same way that, like, White Tower Skip doesn't want you to be there. So, the best way that I found was to get up in there and then, like, jam drop down repeatedly and kind of shimmy that way. But that often made the stone go away because I would kick it. And so then once you're in there, you can see, if you go back and look, how long it took me to, like, line up being on the stone. I'm like, yeah, I guess I could fix that by just like running off of it real quick, you know, clipping the video, segmenting it more, and getting a one try jump. But at that point I was just so happy to even have the jump work that I was like, yeah, okay. And then from that, it's smooth sailing. You know, you just have a clean run across the room and then you get to the rope. Yeah, he mutters Yezio, which is the same thing that he'll call when he's looking for Trico. He mutters it very, like, timidly. Well, you know, exhaustedly, right? And if you keep... It'll keep changing. If you keep, trying to give the command, he'll say, like, Yeti took, and all of the other things that he says.
Agoji, Ajukui, Atisnekatagi.
He doesn't say Itet, which is the you're far away call, usually. But he says the other ones. Credits! Woo! I mean, they're cool, you know? You get to see a summary of the story. It's got nice music that I keep talking over. You get to see things from Trico's perspective a little bit. Like, it changes camera perspective to look through his eyes. Yeah, I wish that for some of these big skips like Dangly and like Susan skip and all that stuff. That's not a question. For all those big things that I incorporate, and even just like clipping into the White Tower and all that kind of stuff. The really fast White Tower skip. Basically all the stuff that's really cool. I wish that it didn't have to have so many segments. You know, I wish it could be like really smooth single seg. But just the odds of having that stuff happen, you know, it's... I wish it was smooth, but it just can't be, you know? I never actually noticed that the London Symphony Orchestra was the one that did this soundtrack. Good job, guys. I wonder how they pick. You know, like there are so many good symphony orchestras. How do you pick, like, oh, this is the one for sure? I mean, surely you do like interviews and stuff, but it seems like at some point they would all be pretty comparable, you know? Maybe it's like travel costs to get to them and stay there or something. But I guess we don't even know if Gen Design has like their own like conductor and stuff, or if they just submit the music and they're like, here, play this please. And then the London guy is the one who figures it out. Ooh, it is 3:02 p.m. here. I need to leave in half an hour to have free food with husbando at some ritzy Italian restaurant that I have to dress up for. I shouldn't say that because it's supposed to be an ugly sweater party, so I'm wearing my Taco Bell shirt, which is not ugly, but it kind of fits in. And husbando is wearing a Final Fantasy pixel art shirt. I mean, I'm not going to complain about free food, but I really don't like doing that thing where it's like a work meeting and you just have the same conversations over and over again. You know what I'm talking about? How you been? What have you been up to? Looking forward to Christmas? What are you gonna do? Yeah, work's been real tough, right? We had X and Y happen. Yeah, I remember when that kind of thing happened. It was always the worst. You know, it's always the same conversations. And you're just like, uh-huh, can I eat my ravioli, please? What is more eating? A quail egg. A queg. Captions did not know what to do with queg. Craig! Don't eat Craig, Mort! Rip in peace, Craig. But yeah, so obviously for next year, I would really love to see this go below 240. I think that might be a tall ask. That's, you know, 1 minute and 12 seconds. So that's a lot of time to save considering I just did 2 huge skips this year and we saved 2 minutes. And I'm running out of ideas, but we have some pretty cool ideas, including a lot that were suggested by you. I think that potentially some of the biggest... Let me look back through my notes. Oh, well, obviously if I can get Trico to boost me to the eye after Pendulum, that's huge. That's like 1 minute. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that because I've tried for so long already. If we could get 1 cycle Hodor, that would be a big deal. Your speedrunner running out of ideas is disallowed. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's more things I can clip through. You know? Because it seemed like it was just that White Tower thing, and then it's like, oh, surprise, dangly. You know? If we could get out... Sorry, Sancho, but if we could get out without the Sancho step, just get that barrel to go, I wouldn't have to pull the crate, and that would be pretty big. 0 armor Kahlo, if that's possible, would be fairly big. I think the biggest single save would probably be either, you know, getting the Trico boost onto the eye or getting Trico to eat multiple barrels at Nom Nom. Then that's like what we discussed today. Obviously, I still have some ideas in a separate sheet, including things I didn't get to implement this year. But I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I had a 3-phase fight at White Tower, didn't I? Okay, you can end stream now. I had a 3-phase fight, I think, at White Tower. Because I remember I commented that Trico actually took out the one-horned armor when I wasn't looking, and so that's the first phase. I think. 7 seconds, no! So if we could get a 2-phase fight, that would make a big difference. If it's not already 2-phase. Because we know that that's possible, so. Yuzu has had it at least. Well, I'm glad my computer lasted. It was really chugging there for a minute. And I don't know, I mean, I do know why, but I don't know why it struggled that much. A lot of RAM, I guess. But surely I lit up Trico's horns here. I guess the cutscenes are 18 minutes. I think. There he is. Because this is the first TAS run where the real time, including cutscenes, is sub 3 hours. It's a 2:59. How cool is it that he went back there? The end is just such a good part, you know? So nice. Really a nice capstone on a lovely game. So yeah, you can absolutely just like light up Trico's horns. If you get to that point and you just hit circle, they'll light up. You can do it multiple times if you want. So yeah, that about does it for the task. Sancho, you got your redeem, right? Yeah, you did. Okay. Because I have to prepare for this dinner. We're going to save these splits. Yeah, I'm really happy about this. And anybody who Dragon Sage, I'll wait for you. Anybody who wants one final entry for the Mort mug, the Lizard Wizard mug, this is going to be your last chance because yeah, this is it for Treaksmas, at least on my channel. And the only place that you can redeem for the mug is on my channel. So there should still be more Treaksmas stuff. Like I said, I think Stocky and Tic Tac are thinking about racing Shadow the Colossus plat percent, which is wild. Or Tic Tac was talking about maybe doing like a Shadow the Colossus all platforms. So that would be PS2, 3, and the remake. And PS3 especially is just, it's something else. So Treaksmas will continue with other people, but it will be it for me because I'm going to be out of town. So Dragon Sage, you're so close. Oh no, you made it. You made it. Okay, good. There you go, Tiny Goliath. You got it. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. Not just now, but for all of Treaksmas. There were a lot of you that like stayed for 35 hours during Platfecta, and that was wild. So it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Sancho, for doing the race with me and the commentary for the Trico Fecta and helping me with the eco part of Platfecta. Like it was probably the best Treaksmas so far. I'm very happy. So let's see who we can raid. We usually aren't live this time of day. Anybody have friends who are streaming? We could raid Flygon, playing Super Mario World. Aries playing Link to the Past Rando. It's a restream of a tournament. Harry Trixus and Half Fezzy Wig. We could raid into really, really longathon as well. This is Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga. Where did really, really longathon go? Oh, there it is. So yeah, maybe we'll go there unless anybody has another suggestion. Yeah, really, really longathon I think is, how do I spell it? Long, really, really. Oh god, I have to open it in a new tab so I can make sure I spell it right. Longathon, no hyphens. Okay. Okay, I think this should work. Yes, that's them. So say hi when you get over there. Like I said, they're playing Mario and Luigi. Super something. I already don't remember. But I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And I will do the drawing for the mug tomorrow in my Discord. I'll let you know the results. And I'll post like a screenshot, presumably. And I'll get in touch with whoever wins. And then if for whatever reason they decide they don't want it, I'll roll it again. So say hi when you get over there. Give the runner some encouragement. And I will see you, I guess, in the new year. But I'll still post on my Discord anybody else who's doing Treaksmas stuff. So appreciate you all. Have a wonderful holiday season, whatever it is that you're doing. And I'll see you later. Bye.